ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله الله إلى كافة للناس بشيرا ونذيرا وداعيا إلى الله بإذنه وسراجا منيرا. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. أما بعد فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه العزيز أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات لأولي الألباب. صدق الله العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. My dear brothers and sisters, we are all here today because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows us to be here. We are here in this day of Yawm al-Jum'ah, in this auspicious gathering, to praise the one deserving of all praise, to beg of the one who can forgive, to ask of the one who can give, and to surrender ourselves to the one and only Creator, Creator of the heavens and the earth, and everything that is in it and above it. And to Him is the return of all of us. Many of us are aware and conscious of the fact that Allah has blessed us to see another new year, Islamically. We are almost halfway through the first month. And this brings some reflection to our minds and to ourselves, and to assess ourselves as human beings of what transpired in the past, and try to make ourselves better Muslims in the future. Many of the things that are mentioned concerning the new year have been already emphasized in previous khutbahs. Today I want to share with you something of great significance and importance as well. And that is the beginning of the Islamic calendar. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, during his time and prior to his time, there was no stipulated guidance as far as calendars were concerned. The months already established. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already established that with Him there are 12 months. And the names are already there. But there was no stipulating which month is first and which month is second and which month is third. And when we look back at previous civilizations, they had what we will call calendars, which they instituted for their own selves. There are, as reported, three main calendars, and that is the Gregorian calendar, the Chinese calendar, and then you have the Islamic calendar. The Gregorian calendar came about in the time of Pope Gregory the 13th. But prior to him, there was the Roman calendar under Julius Caesar. That was already in existence. However, Pope Gregory decided to make some alterations. And he changed and he cut off and he put in, he take out some days, he take out some weeks, and he fixed the suit. And that is what the Christians use today and the Romans use today. Following that, you have the Chinese calendar. We won't say much on that, except to say that, and by the way, the Gregorian calendar also works and operates by the moon as well as by the sun. So you have both of them acting in the same guidance which they have created. And then you have the Chinese calendar, which is lunar solar. They look at the months from the lunar perspective, but they look at the year from the solar perspective. And that is why everything is fixed for them for years. But coming to the Islamic calendar is very interesting. One point I need to mention, however, the beloved Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam reminds us and told us that we as Muslims, we are going to follow the way of the Yahud and the Nasara. Even if they go long and they said, oh, we're going with them as well. And so today we are mostly occupied with the Christian calendar or the solar calendar. I have no problem with that. We follow. We're living in a world like that. But then we should also have some understanding of the Islamic calendar, because we are guided by that. And if you have alterations in the previous calendars, then that is no sort of guidance for us. We need something that is specific, that is ordained by the Sharia as well. And so when coming to the Islamic calendar, there is a big issue, especially when coming to the sighting of the moon. I mean, the brother or Maulana spoke about that last week. I wouldn't go into that. But it just tells you, certain uncertainties. So, in the time of Umar, we need to bear in mind that during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, date and month and year was not fixed. Every month that comes, it just goes like a circle. No one was prior to the other one. So in the time of Umar anhu, there was a little problem emerged between two companions, if I should say that. One was a lender, one was a borrower. So the borrower, when it's time for him to pay, he said he already paid for the month of Shaban, I'm just using Shaban. The lender said, no, which Shaban you're talking about? The last Shaban, this Shaban, or the one to come? So no system in place. So problems. So then they took it to Umar who was Amir al-Mu'mineen at that time. And he decided that something has to be done. We need to have our own calendar of dates and months and years, specified and specific. So what to do now? Where to begin? And so this discussion was held with Umar Usman Ali and other companions and other Muslims. So they said, well, let's take an event In those days and prior to that, the Arabs goes by events, what happened, like Amul Fil, the year of the elephant, they look at that time and they say, well, that was an occasion there. So, then now come Umar throw the idea of what we had to start. And so, one of them said, or first suggestion, let's start with the birth of the Prophet. Let us begin that event, let us start the calendar with that. So that was not agreed upon. Well, let us start with the anniversary of the revelation. Then he became prophet. That wasn't agreed upon either. Well, let's use the event of the conquest of Makkah. That was also thrown out. And so they went on. And then eventually Umar said, you know what? There are other opinions saying it was Ali who decided, but whoever decides, let us start with the Hijri. Let that event be the beginning of our Islamic calendar. We're going to start with that. Well, some of them would have said also, let's start with the Hijrah of the Prophet. Rabiul Awwal, let's start with that one. Everything thrown out. So then the problem is now what to do. Eventually, they agree with the Hijr to begin the Islamic calendar, the Hijr. As you know, there are 4 sacred months. 3 are together and 1 is afterwards. And Umar decided, well, now that we have an event in which to begin the Islamic calendar, which is the Hijri from Makkah to Medina, we need to now have another problem came up, which month? Because as I said, there were no month coming, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The names are already there. To have a calendar, you have to start with an event, you have to start with a month. And so they decided, Umar suggested that we will go with the month of Muharram. Now, many of us may think, some of us may feel that the Hijri begins in the month of Muharram, which is no. The calendar begins in the month of Muharram. But the Hijrah from Makkah to Medina was in the month of Rabiul Awwal. They already selected that event, but not the month. The month now, Umar suggested that we should choose the month of Muharram. And there's a very beautiful and important reason for that. When you look at the 4 sacred months, Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah, Muharram, and then Rajab down the road, one of the reasons, and a strong reason as well, that people coming out from Hajj in the month of Dhul Hijjah, which is one of the sacred months, and then coming into Muharram, they make a spiritual change of themselves. And if you look at the Hijrah, it's a change. It's a change from one condition to another condition. It's a change from wrong, from oppression, to a change of truth and and safety and protection. And that is why we should bear this in mind as Muslims. The Hijrah has a very important role to play in our lives. And this is what we don't seem so appreciate or understand. We just let it go by. And that is why, people make resolutions. We pay more attention to the New Year of January rather than the New Year of Muharram. We make resolutions for January, And so we go on like that. Is why the hadith I made mention, the beloved Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that we will follow them. If they go wrong and they said, oh, we going there with them as well. Everything they do, we doing it. Anything they feel to do, they do, you know. They have no guidance. They have no system. And that is why it is easy for them. So coming back to our situation, the hijrah has an important role to play in our lives. Changing ourselves, reflecting inwardly on ourselves, and assessing ourselves, making that change. This is what the hijrah is all about. Changing from a place of oppression and difficulties and hardships and kufr and shirk to a place of oneness of Allah, to a place of freedom where you can, give out yourself to your Lord without any, setbacks. And this is what this is about. Change within yourself. Not to be a person worse than what you are, but to be a person better than what you are. And this is what changes is about. So having selected the event, they now selected the month. And that was agreed upon not just by Umar al-Mu'minin, but himself, Usman, Ali, the rest of the companions, as well as others. And this is what we are guided by. So we now have something in place, a calendar of our own, because Islam is expanding. Even in the time of Umar, the expansion of Islam needs something independently. Because, as I said, they were suggesting, let us go with the Gregorian calendar, let us go with the Persian calendar, let us go. No. We need to have something on our own. And this is how the Islamic New Year or the Islamic calendar began. By Khalif Umar Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make mention in the ayat which I have recited, Inna fi khalqi samawati wal ard wa ikhtilafi al-layli wan nahar la ayati li ulil albab. This is what the calendar is about. Verily, verily, in the creation of the heavens and the earth, and in the alternations of the day and night, are signs of guidance for those who employ their reason. So this is the calendar in itself. All of these things, the alterations of the day and night, is not happening by chance. And when you look at our calendar, it is the lunar calendar. And because of the changing of the moon stages, you have the beginning of the month and the ending of the month. Of course, and there will always be some problems, as we had recently in this sighting of the moon from Muharram. There will always be problems because it's something you have to see, something you have to sight. It's not something that is fixed. You need to bear in mind that the calendar carries 29 or 30 days. And this is what Allah has fixed, And we cannot change that. And that is why you have, in different seasons, in different parts of the world, Ramadan will be in winter at one time, then it will be in summer at another time, and it will be in fall at another time, and autumn. In Trinidad and Tobago, in this part of the world, it will be in dry season at one time, it will be in a wet season another time. That is Allah's decision. So you see, we are guided by the lunar calendar. And that is fixed not only for that time, it is fixed for all times. So I thought today in this new year, we have entered the new year, bring about that changes in ourselves. Because this is what the hijrah means, change. And that is why Umar had no hesitation. We need to assess ourselves and reflect and change ourselves to come closer to our Lord and appreciate His mercy and appreciate His guidance to us, that He has allowed us to come out of a year of difficulties and problems, entering into a new year, so that we may find ourselves closely connected to Him, and to be better human beings and to be better Muslims in particular. And this is what hijrah is about, change. And if we do not change, it's our own loss. So my urge and my advice to myself and to all of us who are here today, reflect, think about your own self, think about what is happening around us, and try to make that change for the better. Come out of something which is not right, move into something which is good. And this is what the hijrah is. Migrating from Makkah to Medina. And at the end of it, Allah will make us successful. Allah will give us His blessings and His guidance. And Allah will make us victorious over the wrong. So my dear beloved brothers and sisters, it is a great ni'mah from Allah. First and foremost, to believe in His absolute oneness. And He is the controller of what He creates. That is why He used this ayat in Quran. Reflect, look at the signs around you and see for yourself. Even the moon. Even the moon. He said the moon is Surah Yaseen. He said the moon we have given it stages. Stages. We have given the moon stages until it comes back to nothing. Dry like a dead palm leaf. And this is our life. So look at the new moon, you can hardly see it. It is helpless, so to speak. This is our life. Look at your life from birth and see you are helpless. And then you grow from that stage of weakness to a stage of strength. Which is, all of us here are going through that stage right now. So the moon moves from newborn to, that middle stage. And they don't last long, The middle stage of the moon don't last long. And the best part of our lives is the middle stage of our lives. Healthy, full of vigor, robust, energy, intelligence. But that doesn't last long. It might be the best part of your life, but it could be the shortest part of your life. And then Allah bring you back to the beginning stage. He bring you back weak again. So the moon comes back full, the beautiful full moon. And then what is happening now? Take a look tonight and see. It's going down. All that brightness is now becoming dimmer and dimmer and dimmer, then it's gone. So everything that we have, anything we enjoy, is not forever. And then the moon disappears. And so too is our lives. So my dear brothers and sisters, let us continue to strive in the path of Allah and try our best to build ourselves and build our community and build, help others around us, because life is short and life is going and time is going. Do and do it now. May Allah bless us all. May Allah forgive us. May Allah have mercy upon us. May Allah keep us on the path of Sirat al-Mustaqim. And may He help us that when we return to Him, inshallah, He will have a place for us in His Jannah. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله ولكم ولسائر المسلمين وكل ذنب أستغفره إنه غفور رحيم.